Welcome, I'm Kenneth Andre, Tenjutsu Master and Mystic Messenger. Everything that I share and say and do is for a reason. If there sounds like a contradiction, there isn't. Investigate further. Hope you're all doing well. Okay, now please do not take offense to anything that I am saying. Take it as a pinch of salt. All right, I am not judging or criticizing anyone. When I'm, should we say, watching the Watchmen and listening to the advice from others, and they have wonderful advice or jigsaw puzzle piece of gold, sometimes I will see a slight error that I have, should we say, come into during my own coming into maturity. And so I share my own learning from experience that you would also grow. I've had times when the ego got a chunk taken out of it, and that's a good thing. You know, you will hear from a teacher say something that's really displeasing to you, and you may hear from a mystic say something that's really displeasing, and your ego raises its ugly head and denial creeps in, and you don't want to hear it. Well, after being broken and torn to pieces, I listen to the advice, and everyone has great advice. They do. They've all got jigsaw puzzle pieces of gold, as I've said. And I want someone to tell me something that I'm doing wrong, where I can go to the scripture as a reference in authority for confirmation. Yeah, I need to sort myself out. I'm all about developing in maturity. I didn't want to be fooled, and I'm using all the assets and resources at my disposal with spirit so I would grow in maturity on the right path, acceptable to not being perfect and to hearing things that are displeasing where I can correct myself. Let me share this verse with you. Proverbs 12:15. 14. We'll start with 14. By fruitful speech a man is filled with good things, and the works of his hands returns to him. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes. Let me say it again. The way of the fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man listens to counsel. I do this, okay? There's no ego here or pride. Even when I was in the army, I thought I had a lot of my ego sort of calmed down, especially when you start off in training. I was on this run one day and the corporal was like, "Andre, you big nose ugly, march with the group, run with the group." And I was like, near missed assaulted by it. But I'm like, no, I joined the army. It's a man's army. I got to take this. One day, I had an iggly knee. I don't know if I fell over or did something. And this corporal said to me one evening, I was coming up these stairs. He said, "Andre, how's your knee?" I said, I think it's all right. This sergeant grilled me. "Andre, you want to get a grip of yourself. You're a soldier now. There's nothing wrong with your knee. Just bear it and get on with it." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right." And I kept having to go through these exercises, and it made me thick skin. The same is true as you come into maturity on your spiritual development. You have to be thick skinned and willing to be broken, torn to pieces, and grow again in strength. Father works all things from strength to strength, all things to good. He says this is all to benefit you. The ego, the first earthly man, Adam, is where the Antichrist sits. It likes to rule. It likes to think it's right. It's a murderer and a liar, and it abides in you. Many don't want to hear this. No, it doesn't. Oh, really? You have to die, be planted in the earth, that you would be resurrected with the Christ at the end of the play. All right? And you will go through a type of humiliation. Get over yourself. Like I said in my channel, I got broken and was at rock bottom. I had no choice but to climb Jacob's ladder. Okay, let me carry on. A fool's anger is known at once, but a prudent man overlooks an insult. I do. Okay, I really do. And listening to wonderful brothers and sisters out there, they've got wonderful jigsaw puzzle pieces of gold, and I do listen to them and I take on the advice. I don't agree with everything they say, but that's okay. I'm aware that I made these little errors and I still do today. I'm not perfect, but we keep going forward. But I'm at this state of maturity where I won't stand for the foolishness from the ego. And so I'm very quick with that sword, that timid sword, the double-edged sword of truth, to just say it how it is. I'm bold enough to say it how it is. That's what Father likes about me. He knows I'm going to get on here and share it with you. Now, Ephesians 5:6, let no one deceive you with empty words. I always pay attention to the presentations. How's this in connection of me in growing in spirit and in truth? A closer connection to my source and to reality, what's going to benefit me and others. If it's not related to you in any way, it's empty words. If it's not inspiring you, lifting you up, something that you can see that's tangible, even when it involves the invisible, the precepts, you know with hindsight, from experience, from your knowledge and wisdom, yeah, this is true, this is coming. For because of such things, God's wrath comes upon those who are disobedient. Now, I say this because a lot of individuals, they would present themselves to me and they will say, why am I going through this? I'm trying to do what it is I hear from this channel or that. And I'm saying, look, you're not turning to your Lord. Whatever you approve of, and you cannot deceive yourself, whatever you believe about a thing, keep between you and your Lord. Blessed are you for not denying yourself by what you approve. I respect that in others. I'm simply sharing with you that which I've received from my Lord through experience. And I urge you to go prove me wrong. And when I say I've got my thought, word, and deed in order, and I share knowledge and wisdom, that's relative to your own development, where you can go away and look into the spiritual texts, test spirit within yourself, that you would then have the experience and testimony where you can move forward. Like I said, many are not grasping the things that I'm saying in this channel, and it goes very deep. If you went over the videos a few times, you might grasp something on a deeper level. Now, the things I do say can be very challenging, and you need to be open-minded, and it comes across as metaphysical, comes across mystical, but it's with law. It's with law that you can see through true science, practicing, understanding sacred mathematics, quantum physics, sacred geometry, an application with electricity and magnetism. By opening your eyes up to how the laws of creation works from, a simulated standpoint, reverse engineering how a AI computer game works within its confines, you see that there is an order. There needs to be certain applications, no matter how crazy the environment is within the game world, it still goes by a law. And the same is true with consciousness. Jesus Christ says, I have not come to destroy the law, but to fulfill the law, to release us from the old law where we were sinning, falling short. That is thinking as the elementive way of man, being very, very narrow-minded, okay, going by the narrative of the world presented to us from childhood through social engineering, which creates a psychological makeup. It becomes a Faraday cage. And we think that the world that's been presented to us, that's all there is, and there's not. Through the law of consciousness, you can say no to the limitations and suggestions from the elementive way of thinking that brings you into success and freedom. Now, we've got a lot of deception going on, and we got a lot of individuals that say they are these new pastors and religious and spiritual. We got the New Age, we got the secret societies promoting, etc. Listen to this. 1 Corinthians 2:14. But people who ain't spiritual can't receive these truths from God's Spirit. This is so true. It all sounds foolish to them, and they can't understand it. For only those who are spiritual can understand what the Spirit means. 1 Corinthians 2:14. So in Romans 2:8, but for those who are self-seeking and who rejects truth and follow wickedness, there will be wrath and anger. This can be used as a constructive tool. If you are finding calamity coming to your present, into your life, what are you doing wrong? When you start aligning yourself up with your Lord, the Father, the Maker, the Creator, with your source, life becomes easier. The yoke is light, because now you're part of that prime, part of that wonderful pattern that is right. Right is right. And so now you are abiding in the light, and there is no calamity or error or sin, because it's truth. And so you've aligned yourself with your truth and that wonderful end result. When calamity starts making an appearance, you must take check of yourself. What am I doing wrong? Okay, I've noticed Jacob of Israel has mentioned him doing this in his channel, and I do the same. This is why fearing the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Did I say something to offend someone in the wrong way, when my approach was to be constructive and coming from a place of love to help lift them up? But did I go wrong somewhere? You know, am I being present enough? Am I listening to what the Lord is telling me to say and to do? I must come from this standpoint first and foremost. Father, how do I approach this? Because greater is he that is in me than me that's in the world. I can't figure out all the variables or what state of mind some individual is in to give to them what's best for them. And so I'm saying, Father, you've taught me so much. I'm reading this presentation and this individual the best I can without judgment, but I can't know everything that's going on within their minds. What is the best way of applying my mind and approaching this situation that's going to benefit that individual? And so I always find at first, Father says, listen. A lot of people, they just want to be listened to. And I agree, that's what they believe, because that's what they believe. I'm agreeing with them. Yeah, you believe this. But to my mind, let's look at it from a different alternative. Let's not confine ourselves to this particular belief system or this state you find yourself in. Let's look outside of this state. Because if we look at nature, there's always an opposite. There's always a yes or no. There's always another route. It's duality. And so when someone says you can't, you say I can. Many people are going around conforming to the no, can't. All the suppression and limitation and suggestion from a very negative standpoint. and so no one moves forward. They'll end up stuck in limbo. Well, you flip the mind by saying, yes, I will. So therefore, you go forward. You overcome all the confines imposed upon you from childhood. You start saying no to the negative and yes to the positive. You are superior to your heaven and earth. Don't get pulled in by the matrix or by the tricks of shield. It wants to keep you in a box. You are a cubic reality, a heaven and earth unto itself, a box that's connected to the source, the infinite, where upon your screen, your cubic reality, you create the infinite environment streamed from you, from the conscious being poured forth from you through Mosif. With this new application, you become part of the eternal, the limitless, the pure potentiality and possibilities with all the resources and assets. Yes, we are in a state that's a type of containment. We're under the chains of the Holy Spirit and prisoners of Christ, so we don't sin, because we are waiting for this deliverance into a new timeline. There is a language that's been given to those who are sealed in the book of life, God's elect and remnant, who are part of a harvest, where there is this branching off, there is this unique situation many of us are in, and we're watching for this transformation. And so to others, it sounds strange. What are you going on about? Now, we're all doing our best to put the jigsaw puzzle piece of gold together for truth, for understanding. But like I said, it's only God who can reveal to us the greatest mysteries of mysteries. And many of us are aware this is not our world. It's a matrix. Again, those who open the matrix belong to the Lord. Father has got me to come on here and share with you that which I've learned and that which I receive. We are watching, as we're told to, by the Oliver Discourse and many other spiritual texts, for a wonderful transformation from all the investment. We've been purged for so long from the things of this world, being denied. We are groaning inwardly and bursting at the seams. For many years, we've been denied so much of life and love. Well, through law, there is a flip, a double portion restored unto you, as told us in the Bible. And so I know what's coming, because I understand the law. I understand the script, the play. And so I know with conviction, faith, knowing there is a wonderful future coming. And I'm loyal to that image. And I pay attention to the signs and symbols. And so we keep going forward. I noticed on the 28th this month, we got the swan. Let me just check this a minute. We got the swan moving through Perseus. Making sure I can say it right. Okay, which is good, because in mythology, we get the story of the enemy being defeated, again connected with the mirror. I'm not going to get into all that. Then it starts to move into Aries and then straight into Taurus. Okay, so on the 28th, we also have the new moon next to the sun in Aries. Okay, we're keeping watch, guys. And I find this fascinating because I'm going over what I've received from Spirit over the years. I've shared with you this, okay, because this was an image I received from Spirit, where Aries was marking the end. And I mentioned this is the new moon. Okay, those who've been following me a while are aware of this image. Okay, we had the half moon and the separation of the tares and wheat. We got this presentation of the new moon and Saturn either side of Pisces, but now we've got the new moon and the sun. All right. So again, I'm recording and documenting it. So to my mind, putting precept upon precept, simple upon simple, here a little, there a little. What is the message? There's a language. I don't go by any system. I go by what it is that Father has taught me through symbology. What is it that I'm seeing? A bit like catchphrase, right? You're trying to make sense of it all. I look at the world as a screen, and the firmament declares the glory of God's handiwork. So I get the the language of the end, and all the luminaries start moving forward, and Jupiter starts moving out the bull's horn. Everything starts moving forward, and it's coming into the land. We are the pools coming out the deep. So we keep watch. Brother Dana has also done a post making some amazing connections. Connected with May. Now, last year we talked a lot about May. We received amazing connections and symbolism connected with May. My mum is called May. And so I'm like, as we approach May again, it's been this rehearsal. We've received these signs. We must remember, keep it all on board, pay attention. Before you know it, it starts to give us, should we say, this wonderful message. Here we go. You guys ready? And then when we are shifted, when we start seeing more strange anomalies, wonderful transformations with the signs, we can adjust ourselves with comparison. We've done it. And I know I'll be on here shouting, have we shifted? And we will be talking about other subjects that are more glorious and fantastic. I'm going to leave it there. I'm Kenneth Andre, Tenjutsu Master and Mystic Messenger. Please do not take offense, okay? I have come into maturity, and be careful what to say and how I approach it, okay? And I'm bold enough to share what it is from my own experience, what I'm observing, and I'm wanting everyone to be lifted up. I come from a place of love and compassion. I judge no one, okay? I've had great teachers go before me who lifted me up, and now I'm doing the same. Like I said, I extend my hand back and lifted my brothers and sisters up, and I'm still not perfect. There'll still be a great teacher, or someone will say something and I'm like, thank you. Or someone unexpectedly will make me aware of something I may not be aware of, which is very rare because I'm always present and paying attention. Yet Father would be like, right, pay attention. Oh yeah, okay, because I can get distracted because I can get passionate about a particular subject, and Father will bring me back, ground me through an individual unexpectedly. I'm like, thank you, Father. It's always from Father, always from Spirit. He's keeping us in check. Love you guys. Have a good day.